specifically, we will go over our 5 favorite features about our 2023 Thor Tranquility 19L. Hi guys, it's Carly. Logan and I were recently on a van adventure for the weekend, and we found ourselves in a parking lot with a couple of other Sprinter or adventure vans. That led us to start talking about some of the likes and dislikes that we have about our own. So we figured we'd make that into a video in case there's anyone else looking to either rent one for your own trip or perhaps even buy your own. I will start from the bottom of the list. Number 5 on our favorite features for the van is the propane heater. It might sound small, but this is a huge feature for us and one of our favorite things about the van. There is on the outside a small propane switch that has to be turned on before you can use it. And then inside the van there's a control panel. I usually explain it to renters as you would have for your home. So you can set it to a certain temperature you want the van to maintain, or if there's a specific time you know you'll be waking up and you know you want it nice and warm, then you can turn it on based on a time setting as well. We bought our van for a lot of winter adventures and some winter sports and things like that, so this makes sure that regardless of weather, we can take it wherever we want for our next adventure. Feature number 4 is the secondary alternator. This helps us recharge the battery of the house part of the van so that we can stay off the grid a little bit longer. There's a control panel specifically for the battery that has a couple cool features. One of the basics is just, of course, telling you how much percentage battery you have left. Another one is the projection, so based on your current usage of lights, if you have the microwave on, anything like that, it'll tell you how much longer your van battery is projected to last. So the alternator, being one of our favorites, kicks in because we can easily recharge that battery without having to be near an outlet to physically plug in and then have to stay put. So the alternator can be turned on the same control panel I was just talking about that shows the battery percentage. And then when the vehicle itself is turned on, it'll automatically then start recharging the house battery for the van. If you are idling, it'll actually charge, so you don't even necessarily need to drive anywhere, but it is based on RPM, so if you're driving, it'll actually recharge the battery faster. We don't always leave it on by default just because it's not necessarily good for the battery to be charged at 100% and then still charging. Our third favorite feature about the van is the actual layout. When we were looking at buying our Thor Tranquility 19L, even this one had a couple of different floor plans, but obviously the different vans you look at, there's lots of different ways that you can have the bed or the table set up and things like that. So specifically, our favorite part about the layout is the back half of the van, where it's almost like bunk bed style. On the top is our human bed. That's where we sleep and it fits 2 pretty comfortably. On the bottom half, the dog actually sleeps there, so we often call it the dog's bunk bed, but it's more commonly called the garage area of the van, so anything that you need to store goes back there. We put coolers, skis, snowboards, suitcases if we're gone for a little while, anything like that. The reason this comes in as one of our favorites is a lot of vans in the back half will have a more table like dining room kind of style with benches around it that you can then transition at night and turn into a bed. If you have that though, there's not much space to put anything like a cooler or anything that you would store inside, so that would kind of take up most of your room there. And we also realized we're not going to want to put a table up and down and rearrange the furniture basically just to go to sleep every night. And at number 2 is the enclosed bathroom. Most of the Sprinter vans that we looked at had a toilet that was really like the bottom drawer of the kitchen, essentially. If you pull that out, then that becomes your compostable toilet, I think is what they call it. And you kind of just pull that out and you have it in the middle of the van and you use the restroom. which, if you are solo, probably is not that bad. It's not a big deal. However, we knew that every time we were using the van, it would be Logan and I together. And for renters, I figured that was not the most appealing idea because we do rent our van out quite a bit. So my biggest criteria was that we have a bathroom that was enclosed, so there was a door and some privacy. So we did get that. Our bathroom is essentially a wet room. We have the toilet, there's a sink in there to wash your hands, and then it technically has a shower head. We are both very tall, so we don't actually fit in there standing up to shower, but that's why the toilet's in there. You can actually close it and it becomes like a shower bench or seat, so you can actually rinse off in there. We have not used it yet. I think a couple of renters have, but it's great to have the enclosed toilet just to have some privacy. There's a fan in there, there's a light, mirrors to get ready, all the good stuff, so it makes it really nice to use on the road. And our number one favorite feature that Logan and I both agree on, maybe not specific to a Sprinter van, but is the 4x4 driving capabilities so that we can take this thing truly anywhere. And a lot of people, when they buy adventure vans, are more intrigued by the summer, warm weather camping, and we certainly are, but the reason we really bought it is so that we could get up to the snow and do winter sports. Logan snowboards and I ski, so this made it really easy to jump up there, not have to drive all the way home. We live a couple hours away, so now we can find a place to stay up there, go back-to-back nights, and we don't have to worry about driving up if it's snowing or if there's a storm or anything because of the 4x4 capability, so it makes it pretty easy.